Hello. Testing, testing. Okay, let me see who's in. Okay. Where is it? Hello, hello. Okay, welcome, welcome. Hi. Okay, if you're here, can hear me, please type at the comment box. Welcome. Just gonna wait. Give you more time to come in. So I'm here live on a Christmas Eve. Hope everyone is available on a Christmas Eve. Otherwise, you may be watching this as a form of replay. Okay. Okay. Hello. Yes. I am watching. So for those who are in, you are currently we are currently live here in a few different places. Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm seeing some few messages coming in. Hello. Everyone is partying. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if everyone is partying out there. We are still here. It's okay. Okay. Right. But doesn't matter. Okay. Even if you are watching this as a form of replay, you can still get it. All right. Something wrong with my voice? Something wrong with my voice? I hope it's fine. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are ready at your holiday. Hope so. I'm not sure, right? Because in some places, I think in some places it's a public holiday tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah. So I believe if you are here, probably it's because you have the ox. Okay. Otherwise, you may be spending your Christmas Eve doing something else. Otherwise, you'll be just watching this live. Okay. And it's fine. It's okay. Go have fun. So I'm reading some of the comments here. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let me try to see my slide. So I'm just gonna begin now. Okay, for those who just come in later or you may just be watching this as a form of replay, feel free. Okay, but today I'm just going to share with you about the ox in 2026. And I really, really like about the ox in 2026. Okay, because the ox is actually pretty decent, I think, in 2026. Now, let me just start to see this. Let me know if you can see my slide or you can't see my slide. Okay, right. This. All right. Okay. So if you are wondering, oh, forgot to introduce myself. So if you're watching this replay, by the way, just to introduce myself, my name is Esther, and I'm the founder of EC Metaphysics, Holistic. So in here, we teach all related stuff about Chinese metaphysics. Personally, I'm very specialized in 八字, and also we teach on holistic health. Okay, so today, this video here, it's all about your 2026 if for the ox. Okay, so this is applicable if you have the ox, and I'm gonna be going through with you guys the energy of the ox. Okay, so what you can understand about the ox, the insights, and we're going to be using only the auxiliary stars. I'm not going to go too much into the system and what you can be using, because that will be another technical sharing. But today, I'm just going to be focusing on auxiliary star, which is just one of the technique to understand what is the year is going to be like if you have the ox animal sign in your 八字 chart. Now, before you even wonder if you have an ox in your 八字 chart, basically, if you're born in the year stated in the screen here, which is 1949, 1961, 1973, 1985, 1997, 2009, and if you're born in the month of January, and if you're born between the hour of 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., you have an ox in your 八字 chart. So basically, in all your 八字 charts, you do not only have one animal sign, you actually have 4 animal signs. So if either one of the animal signs fall into the 4, okay, and one of it if an ox, this is applicable to you, okay, because we cannot be just looking at what year you are born. Okay, it's very important to understand, because most people think they only check like, oh, what's going to be the year of birth, and that's it. No, okay. And bear in mind, this is very important to understand, is that whatever you're going to be taking away from here today, it's just to understand the potential for the year, right? It's very important to know that it doesn't denote like any form of success or failures, but rather is to understand what kind of energy will be supporting you or otherwise giving you that kind of challenges, so that you are able to say, like, understand the year, so you can manage or strategize or plan your year better, okay, depending on what kind of energy is the year for you, right? So this is on the ox animal sign, yeah. Okay, let me see the slides. Okay. Mm, okay, so I'm not looking. Okay, cool. So I'm looking at my screen now. Perfect. So for those who are Instagram, I'm looking at you also. So please do type in the comment box if you would have anything you want to say. Okay. So I'll be looking at the camera in and out like this, and just it's fine. Okay. You'll be seeing me switching my heads. Okay. Most importantly, you know I'm looking at you. Now, let's first begin about understanding the ox as in an overall energy transition wise. Okay, what does it mean by transition? Okay, so you know what's really interesting about the ox is, if you are looking in terms of how are they going to evolve, okay, it's going to be pretty nice, I would say. Okay, pretty nice, because as you can see in this slide here, okay, I hope you can see the slides. Okay, hello. Hi, Merry Christmas. Okay, I need my Merry Christmas hat. Okay, sorry, come back. So today, Christmas time sharing ox. Okay, so yeah, so coming back. So 2025, basically, you see the ox actually have like this two, Jade Hall and Elegant Seal, and they have all this red color, which is the inauspicious stars. While moving forward to 2026, they have the three auspicious stars, and the few red color ones is all the inauspicious star. Now, just to give you a little bit of comparison and how the transition is going to be like, 2025, the ox is really more like a learning year. Okay, so both Jade Hall and Elegant Seal, it's a very creative, it's a very intellectual kind of opportunity. So 2025 for the ox is really like a time for you to think, learn, and problem solve creatively, play around with your skills and ideas, and see how you can increase your values through your ideas. And that's how you grow. And the problem goes around maybe competition, and also a number of emotional related issues, right? That is for the 2025. But moving forward in 2026, I see a huge shift, big shift for the ox. Okay, so I would say the ox in 2026 is one of my favorite. Okay, because they got the emperor star. All right, so the 2026 for ox, right, is a big shift into status, a big shift into authority and power related. Now this is also where I would say, if you have been working so hard in 2024, so hard in 2025, 2026 is a year whereby you truly will be in control and truly will get the validation and recognition. Because 2024, if I'm not mistaken, the ox is like you get it but then you lose it. It's like it's also pretty much of an uphill battle. Now 2026 is different. 2026 is you get the power now. Okay, whether you like power or not, this is not for you to say. So I get a few questions because few things have already happened for those who have ox, and maybe you have ox, you could tell me the truth. You would already see a lot of changes, like power authority related, because the emperor star represents authority, leaderships, and decision making power, which also means that hey, 2026 is a year whereby you are given that seat, that position where people is going to listen to you. Okay, either you get that position or the position is given to you. You don't have to really like ask for it or fight for it, because it's like everybody's looking to you. What is next step? Now that is the emperor star, because emperor is the emperor, the king basically. So there's a lot of authority, a lot of leadership energy is going to be with the ox. Now dragon virtue, it's more like problem solving, but they are more like a very powerful, noble assistant. So it's very good, particularly if you have a lot of problems, because dragon virtue is like a nobleman who comes in and help you solve a lot of problems. So it's very good for crisis management, and also people that will be able to help you to solve issues or provide solutions whenever needed. So dragon virtue is also a very, very powerful nobleman star. So on top of having the power, you also got a lot of powerful and good noble people to support you along the way. So isn't that already quite decent? Now national treasure. National treasure is like, you know how this is literally a direct translation of like you become the treasure of the country. So now you become the national treasure. So national treasure literally means your value increase. So it tells us about, like, if we put it in a human context, or maybe what you do the past few years context, you will now get more appreciation, you will now get more recognition. So you will also now get more visibility, right? And suddenly now people can see your value that you have done for the past few years. So if all this while you always feel that you've done so much, or maybe if credit has been taken by somebody else, or maybe you were trying to actually get a promotion, now 2026 could be the year. Yeah, because why? National treasure literally means you are being recognized, you are being appreciated, and a lot of your contribution in the past will be valued. And in a working context, usually it means promotion. Okay, so again, depending on where the ox falls into, because the ox may fall into either the year, the month, the day, or the hour. So it depends where it falls. The story will twist a little bit. Okay, now what I say, it's quite good. It's coming out from a career perspective, but sometimes it may look a little bit different if we look into the relationship part. Okay, because usually it's always like coming off a bit rough because there's emperor star. However, these things is a bit different, because dragon virtue and national treasure both can be very nicely applied in a personal setting as well, because dragon virtue is quite a gentle star, and the good thing about dragon virtue is that it can mitigate all the negative stars. Okay, so it's like kind of like balance out, the red color stars at the bottom, which is disaster Shah, brutal defeat, sky Shah, six harm, and dark sky, right? It will balance it out. So dragon virtue, very nice and powerful. So if you actually seen my post on the one of my posts on auxiliary stars, one of the things that I highlight was actually a dragon virtue, because it's the dragon virtue. It's it's also the kind of activation that we like to do to give protection for the house. Dragon virtue. Okay, so imagine how powerful is this. So on top of this, there's one more I didn't put here because I didn't put it as part of my system, but the ox also have this thing called the Tai Chi nobleman. Okay, which I didn't put it here, but it's actually there because I didn't put any Tai Chi nobleman in my auxiliary systems. But basically, ox actually have one as well. So, but I'm not going to explain it. But generally, if you want to know, Tai Chi nobleman is there as well, meaning the spiritual nobleman is there. Okay, meaning it's a good time for you to pick up education on metaphysical, or your affinity to metaphysics or energy related studies or esoteric related studies will enhance. Okay, so there's like a lot of aha moments, or maybe there's a lot of learnings coming from that angle as well. So this is something on the side if you actually want to explore that in 2026. Now, to keep it short, 2025 is more like the training year. It's like, oh, okay, dear ox, train, 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 train. Make mistakes, learn, be creative, craft your art. Now, 2026 is more like put the ox in power. Okay. Now, I can also say one thing, because I know that many people will always tell me, it's like, hey, why you say the ox is so good in 2026, but last time you say my animal sign is very good, but it didn't turn out well. Now, I can tell you again this one, because how well are you going to use these stars is depending on how well you actually use them on 2025. So if you have done the right thing in 2025, if you have the ox, if you have used your jade hall, if you have used your elegant seal very well, 2026, you can definitely use your emperor star, dragon virtue, and national treasure. Okay, so again, if you want to ask, got money? Got, likely lah. Okay, likely. Okay, so but it doesn't come like a golden lock, like the dragon or the dog has a golden lock. I forgot either one. Yeah, one of the graveyard has a golden lock. So that is the more direct money star. But this one, it's more like with the power and authority you have, you will enhance your net worth. And how do you monetize that is up to your creativity and also talents. Okay, so I would say if you have an ox, great year ahead. Okay, great year. The next step is like, where does it fall to and how can you play with it? Okay, how can you play with it? Now, let's see. What if you have an ox in your year pillar? Okay, so do let me know if you have a horse an ox in your year pillar. Okay, now what's important to understand, okay, the year pillar, it's usually say the least impactful one. Okay, now when I mean by least impactful, it doesn't mean it's bad. It only means that the star itself, it doesn't directly affect you as much as the month, day, and hour, because the year pillar, it's very far. The ones that represent us is actually the day, and the one that represents our career and business most of the time, it's also the month. But the year itself, there is a way to actually make play with this energy. Okay, so most importantly, you need to know it's not you. Now, having the emperor star at the year pillar is literally a year where authority and power dominate your environment. Okay, your environment, all right, your environment. So who you mix with, who you are with, perhaps in the industry itself, that represents it. So you will realize that people who you know, maybe at a very further end, you will see that suddenly, oh, they have more power, they have more authority. So environment is authority driven. Now, is this good or bad? Oh, you have ox in a year and a day. Wow, okay, nice. This is very nice. So good or bad having the year pillar with authority driven? Now it depends, okay, because I do get this and I personally have also experienced this in the past. Sometimes not everyone are very comfortable with authority, okay, because authority can be quite intimidating, especially when it is in your environment. So meaning having the emperor star, could you imagine like the power of emperor, it's in around you, meaning the people you know, having your friends have higher power. Okay, so people with higher power, income or status, that will be around you. Now if you personally do well and you personally have also like not say afraid of power, you don't mind dealing with people who are bigger in power and also talking to them, I think it's good. Okay, because perhaps you'll be taken more seriously and you will be seen as capable by this leader, and sooner or later become part of the leader as well, become part of the power as well. So remember, it's like why the year is so important is like the environment, right? So remember like how we always say that the environment affects who you become. Now this can actually affect you this way. So if you mix with people of power, sooner or later you will become one of the person as well. Okay, so it's really about learning how to operate within the power, okay, within the authority. So if you are open to it, if you are not stressed with it, because some people can get very stressed out with this kind of power, then it is not that favorable. Okay, so you have to learn how to be very comfortable to it with it. Okay, and sometimes this thing can also lead to better offers. All right, so you may see that when you mix with people with power, they have a lot of capability to pass you or make decisions that favor you more. All right, because you're friends, right? Obviously, so that's it. Okay, so I must mix with powerful people. Yes. Okay, the key is, and actually I can tell you this one thing, right? um you will also start to realize that the people of power will appear around you. Okay, will appear around you. Now you, again, like I said, you have to be in par with them, because if you are also not showing up some leadership skills, it's also very difficult and it will end up very stressful for you. Okay, now how about the dragon virtue in the year pillar? Now this is really nice because it's in the environment, meaning to say a lot of noble people. Okay, so get out there and meet more people, listen to people's advice, or otherwise ask for advice. So, dragon virtue, when it falls in the year, very nice. Okay, so you have to be comfortable in terms of asking for favors or asking for advice. Now, again, the rule when we are playing with noblemen is that don't wait until problem happens, then only you seek for advice. Okay, ask and seek for advice even your planning stage, right? Because as long as you have certain form of questions, you have certain form of doubts, a lot of it can be overcome through just asking questions. Okay, don't wait until problems happen, then only you use the nobleman. All right, now how about national treasure in the year pillar? Now national treasure in the year pillar represents that your society, your environment, they value experience, they value qualifications, they value contribution. So you may see that people around you, they value something very tangible, right? Which also means that if you are very capable, if you are say truly actually have something to prove and contribute in terms of values, your environment will definitely see it as a plus point, and with that you will be appreciated and recognized. Okay, so if you are the type that don't have anything to contribute, all right, uh then this thing will not work. Okay, because national treasure only works if you truly have values. Okay, so I would say is how to play the national treasure is, if you got any form of values or any form of skills, right, don't be too shy to actually show that. Just show, you take your credit, whatever you have done in the past, learn how to say that, oh, you know what, this is something that I've done. Claim what you have done and let people appreciate what you do. Okay, take all the credits. Okay, with that way you'll be able to be recognized, and a lot of your hard work will also be validated by the society and also people of industry. Now this type, usually I would say that maybe you can go and try to win awards. Awards, nowadays, right, like how people actually win awards. Now this is a good year for you to win awards. So basically, if you have the ox in the month pillar, you can also generally win awards. Okay, but the key is here, if you have something to show. If you don't have something to show, this thing probably doesn't work. Okay, because it's called po 什么啊 when I'm speaking Mandarin, it's national treasure. 保管啊, it's very valuable, something very treasured. All right, so that's how it works. Okay, so yeah, so if you have already been showing what you have been doing all this while, wow, this one will be very nice. Okay, this will be very, very nice. Okay, now how about in terms of the negative side? Now, there's quite a number of negative stars, which is called the disaster star, brutal defeat, sky star, six harm, and dark sky. Now, there are also some concerns that, because I've described like, oh, very good stars, right? Because got Emperor Star, got Dragon Virtue, got National Treasure, very nice stars, powerful, little but powerful stars. And I was also asked, hey, but there's more negative stars. Does it matter? Okay, does it matter? Well, actually, for this case, I would say it's very much minimized, because if you see here, the stars in here are not very powerful negative stars. Not only that, because they have very nice dragon virtue, which can actually neutralize the negative stars. And I understand that the ox actually have a harm relationship with the horse. Don't worry about that. Okay, it's just like how, okay, which actually makes sense, right? Whenever you start to gain a lot of authority, a lot of power, you know that there's going to be trouble. Okay, it comes in a package. All right, but most importantly, when it comes with that set, you have the dragon virtue. Okay, so guaranteed, in a way, supported. So don't have to be worried too much. Okay, that's why personally I'm not too afraid of the negative stars, unless your mindset is super negative and you focus a lot on the negative thing. Because again, the negative things will happen, but it's easily overcome. Okay, so the strategy is just to be extremely mindful when it happens. Right now, let's look at the individual aspect of the stars first, and then we can go deeper, because along the way we're going to be talking about how it applies in the month, day, and hour. Disaster Shah, actually, disaster Shah, so the name itself is really quite straightforward, meaning disaster. Literally means there's a lot of obstacles and disruptions in your environment, because at the year pillar. So you may also notice that environmental change, meaning to say organizational change, policy change, social change, structural change. All these things may happen unexpectedly, and people will also behave very unpredictably, forcing you to adapt. Now, from what my experience is, this is quite common, especially whenever you have the Emperor Star. Okay, because when you have the emperor star, that is when these problems will happen. So from a few cases that I already have experienced and heard, structural changes happen in the company and suddenly they were given a new position and a new role. Yeah. Okay, that kind of thing happened, right? And they got very, the person I know, my client and the student, got a bit scared, like suddenly given a high position and because of the structural change. Okay, so things like that happen because of the change, right? So usually whenever the problem happens, usually you will be asked to hello solve the problems. All right, so something like that will happen. So these things is expected, which also means that whenever you are given that kind of role, it's also going to be very stressful, isn't it? Of course, you are the emperor. Okay, it comes in a set, right? Now, the next one is about brutal defeat. Now, brutal defeat, it's talking about pride and ego. Having it in the year pillar usually denotes problems like power struggles, politics, or maybe issues related because of egos and pride. So people are not very happy. If it's the year pillar, means there will be a lot of like who is right, who is wrong arguments, which by the way can lead to other issues. All right. So good news is this: it is at the year pillar. All right. So when it's at the year pillar, usually it doesn't directly affect you, but you'll be able to see it clearly. Now, if you are easily affected by your year pillar, okay, then you need to like truly gain back your power because you are the emperor. You shouldn't be affected by all the petty pride, ego drama by the environment. Okay, but just be mindful with that, and these are just little problems that you will need to um solve or face. All right, now the next one is a sky sha. Sky sha literally means environment that is stressful. This is stressful negative environment, which again related to environment, not much about you. So you need to see whether you are easily affected by it. Likely if you have great boundaries, again you are not going to be affected by it. Now six harm, this is where the harm relationship comes in. So the harm relationship generally means betrayal, generally means certain form of jealousy, right? And this is at the year pillar. So year pillar means what? The environment. Okay, which is not at all surprising given the fact that you have the emperor star, of course. Right? So there will be unmet expectations, there will be people in the past whereby you think they are okay or they are okay with you, now probably they are not okay with you. Okay, so we can expect these things to happen, which is quite common, especially when you gain certain form of position and authority. um yeah, that's for the environment. Okay, so dark sky is really just about toxic energy, toxic environment. So this one also about minor injuries, subtle dramas in your environment. Okay, so I would say they're just tiny little things. Given the fact that you have a dragon virtue, all the environmental negative matters will actually be dampened a lot. Okay, so if I ought to just lump all these negative stars together, it's really just about like environmental fatigue, environmental disruption. Mostly it's relational related problems. Yeah, so I wouldn't give too much of an issue, especially if it's at the year pillar, because dramas happen basically. Okay, it's around you, right? So most importantly, if you are using your positive stars very well and you are very grounded and very stable, these things won't affect you at all. Okay, these things won't affect you at all. Now this is for the year pillar. Okay, now how about the ox in the month pillar? Okay, so the ox in the month pillar, it's closer to you as a person. So the month pillar represents your career, your business, your direct position in your job, basically. Now this is extremely potent. Okay, so just now I did mention about the power and authority, right? Now these things where does it shine the most? In your month pillar. Okay, and I can tell you, you can't escape this, because I do have certain clients who actually were asking me about, like, oh, will they actually get promoted? But they're too stressed. They don't want the promotion. Nowadays is very unlike in the past. I realized this. In the past, everybody wants a promotion. Now everybody don't want a promotion. I don't know why. I think it's a trend thing, right? Nobody wants to take higher levels anymore. Corporate leadership. I think people are quite sick about it. Okay, but yeah, like it or not, okay, if you have an ox in the month pillar, right? Authority, control, and leadership, okay, becomes part of your job scope in 2026. Okay, becomes part of your job scope in 2026. Now, these things can show up in many ways. Okay, it can show up as a form of, hey, you are given this new project to handle. This, you are the new team lead. Okay, another one is probably, oh, now you got more team members under you and you need to build a new team. Or maybe, okay, literally, you are given a promotion, okay, or given a bigger portfolio or project, bigger responsibility, basically, okay, because it's an emperor star. Emperor make important decisions, right? So, like it or not, this is it. Okay, even though you don't like it, it will come to you. Again, this is where usually the problem happens, whereby um if you do not like any form of say, more responsibility, this can be very stressful. Now that is when usually a positive stars become negative. Okay, this is when usually a positive star will become negative, is because the side effects of the positive stars. Okay, so yeah, so this is about it lah. So you guys just got to pay more attention to it. Dragon virtue at the month pillar, great time for career support, problem solving, perfect. So dragon virtue is extremely helpful here. So which also means that you will get like supports from bosses or mentors or colleagues or clients, even though because of the negative stars there'll be a lot of issues in your work, but it's fine, because with dragon virtue things will actually get resolved better and faster. You will meet the right people at the right time anyway. Okay, so just allow the help to happen, seek for advice, seek for assistance all the time, and support. National treasure in the month pillar. Now this is again talking about career acknowledgement, all right, or maybe business acknowledgement. So all this while perhaps you have been trying to like show everyone what you can do, or perhaps contribute in a certain form of values, and trying to get people to see what you really solve. Okay, now this year, coming next year, you will notice that people will start noticing what you truly do. And most importantly is they see the value. Okay, they see the values, like, oh, you are really solving the real problems. Now of course it must tally with your actions. Okay, so likely is for the past few years within 2024 and 2025 where you have been actively trying to solve a lot of problem, trying to get promotion, trying to push yourself, getting yourself out of that comfort zone. That few years is a bit like I get it and then you lose it kind of feeling. But 2026 is like you've done it, there's proof. Now this is it. Everyone can see that you are the real one. Okay, provided you have done the right actions. Yeah, so it doesn't apply for everyone. National treasure is like that. You must truly have something to show in order for it to work. If you don't have it, it works very minimally. Okay, minimally, meaning to say maybe if you have only done something like in a minimal way, maybe you have learned how to um, discover a better way to fold your clothes, example. So that is what people are going to acknowledge. Okay, so again, your actions comes in and the stars amplify the action, right? So that's how it goes hand in hand. Okay, so if you have this in your month pillar, please go and identify right? What you truly want to show in terms of value. Is the same applicable. Either you have done it in the past, or maybe in 2026 you can actually show more values, and that is how you get the public validation, the acknowledgement of your expertise. Okay, so that's how you actually use the national treasure, right? Of course, promotion as well is very likely if you really use the national treasure. Okay, so some of them already got activated, like the ones I know of, um, already get promotion like end of, yeah, already get promotion like a few months ago, and to be effective in the new financial year. The ones I know of, right? So it depends on you personally. Do you experience that? Okay, right? So you evaluate it by yourself, right? Okay, now how about the negative stars in a month? Now same applies, so I'm not going to go through individual stars again because I've already went through it in a year pillar. So now I'm just going to combine few of the stars together so you can understand the effect of a combination of stars, how it looks like. Okay, so now disaster Shah combining with a brutal defeat. So we are disaster Shah, we're talking about problems, right? Problems at work, delay, literally disruptions, structural change, and things like that in your workspace, because it's at the month pillar. But how about together with the brutal Shah? So brutal Shah, whenever we look at the month pillar, it's very related to your pride and ego. Okay, your pride and ego, because when you start to have like a lot of power and acknowledgement, you know what comes along with it? Your pride and ego. Okay, so these things you have to be a bit more careful with it, right? Because sometimes when we see a disaster Shah and a brutal defeat, a lot of the problems is also coming because of certain decisions that you make, right? Because of your ego or your pride, therefore these issues will happen. Okay, so a lot of things can truly be um, prevented, okay, if you try to manage your ego. Don't be too overly confident, basically. Okay, or maybe whenever there's a project that, or a dispute or tension that escalates, you need to manage and control your ego and your pride. Otherwise this project will get even worse. Okay, so the key to issues, or the key to a lot of solutions, is actually by just managing your ego, right? Yeah, so that you need to say. And Sky Shah, and let me combine Sky Shah and Dark Sky. Okay, together it's a very negative space. Negative space, right? So it tells us about how stressful your workspace will be, because it's at the month pillar, and how stressful your colleagues are, basically. So these things all can actually accumulate and become extreme stress and burnout. So just pay more attention. So usually how we see it in sequential of events is like, imagine your project already get delayed, right? And then if your energy level is very low, you get demotivated, you get like not inspired, and then get tired, and then get sick, and all these things happen, right? So Sky Sha and Dark Sky is related to health problems, all right? And usually when we see in the month pillar, it's really just about burnout and low in terms of energy. Okay, so just make sure that you are very much aware of the stress around you. I think this can be handled easily if you are aware and you manage your stress well. Okay, you manage your stress well. Okay, so this is more issue again. You have dragon virtue, right? So be smart in terms of how you want to manage your energy. Okay, right. How about the next one? Which is the Slokchan. Oh, sorry, six harm. Okay, so six harm. Okay, again, we're talking about certain form of betrayals. Again, maybe I would change the word. Maybe I wouldn't use the word entirely, just betrayal, but unmet expectations. Okay, so perhaps because this is at your workspace, right? It's at your career. So you will, you can expect certain form of mis disagreement, maybe even like hidden resentment, or certain form of like gossips behind here and there, because six harm usually they involve people you already know. Okay, that's why it's called the harm relationship, because the harm relationship is people you already know, people you have expectations on. So this thing can be, quite, say, disappointing at the workspace. Okay, so just be more mindful with that, right? So this is about the ox in the month pillar. Now, as we move inwards towards the day, right, and the hour, it becomes slightly different, right? Because as you can see, the month and the year pillar, it's always the yang aspect. The yang aspect means it's your workspace, or either at your career, your business, your network, and things like that. Now, as you move towards into the day and the hour, it's going inside now, which is the yin aspect. So the yin aspect represents the self, the relationship with the spouse, the mindset, your desires, the things that you control and you decide most of the time. So, looking at these stars in the day pillar, it may give us a little bit of differences. Okay, say example, the star still applies the same, the energetic concept is still the same, but how it will affect the outcome could be a little bit different. Okay, could be a little bit different. Now that's why you see most likely the month and the year is going to be a similar impact. Okay, all right, so let's look in terms of the ox in the day pillar. Now, the day pillar represents the self, the health, and also the relationship, or your spouse, okay, or your intimate relationship, I would call this, or your partner, right? So whenever we see an emperor star appears in a day, okay, it brings up certain form of power within you. So what does it mean? It means like a inner authority, like when you want to be in charge, when you want to be better, it's like when you feel like you're in power. So in a way, having the emperor star, right, in the day, right, it's like your experience, like, I want to do better this year. You get more of that energy, like, I am building, you are building that self-confidence better in 2026. So you feel good about yourself. You like, okay, I want to improve myself. Just imagine, like, as an emperor, you have that kind of energy and that kind of confidence, right? So it's that kind of feeling, and it's applicable to you. And with that energy, imagine standing tall, imagine carrying yourself out, having that emperor star. So you will become, you will show up as somebody who is more confident. Now, not only that, because it's at your day pillar, likely it's also um your spouse. Okay, likely it's also there, right? But either way, you will get affected by it. You will want, to gain that power. You will claim that power, so you feel more strong in terms of energy wise. Now, I would say sometimes this kind of emperor star may not always be very beneficial for relationship, because emperor star also means like trying to take control. Emperor star also means like trying to be in charge, which sometimes, putting it in a relationship context, is not always that great. So just be a bit more mindful that relationship is not like work. Sometimes dealing with relationship, it's not power or control or being in charge. Then you can get a healthy relationship, because emperor star is like that, right? It's the power, can get a bit rough whenever it comes to relationship. So yeah, emperor star is very dominant. Okay, so just remember, when it comes to relationship, what's very important is like, you're not the boss. You have to remember that. Okay, not everything has to be managed because you have the power. Not everything you can or must decide, because again, relationship is a two-way thing. You have to learn how to manage that. Right, now, having that said, dragon virtue, okay, possibly is being more optimistic, okay, feeling good, and also Probably nobleman, right? And we are referring to what? Because it's your day pillar, so we are referring to perhaps your spouse could be your nobleman. Okay, so a lot of times, probably your spouse will be able to give you better advice. Speak to your spouse, speak to your partner more. Probably that will be able to help you to solve certain issues. Okay, now national treasure in the day represents what? Okay, it represents again the values. So this is very good, especially if all this while you are unable to see what you can contribute. If you do not understand yourself well enough, if you do not know what are your strengths, what you can actually contribute, what good values you can actually provide. Now, I think the national treasure can actually help you if you have this in your day pillar, because now you can understand your values. You can actually understand and see where are your strengths, right? And when this happens, when you start understanding your strengths and you start understanding your personal worth and personal values, you also become more confident. Okay, and you do not rely on other people to tell you what you should be doing. You do not rely on external validation anymore. And that in return will allow other people, okay, to also recognize your values. Okay, so because most of the time, if we don't see our own values, okay, we don't know what we can contribute, other people cannot see it. Because when we don't see what we can give, we don't do it, we don't consciously act on it, and other people also probably cannot see. But when you start to see where you can contribute, what is your value, what is your strength, rest assured that other people will learn how to appreciate that as well. So suddenly you will realize that, wow, you become very attractive. Okay, yeah, and it does comes with some form of attractiveness, and because it comes with a form of self-value and confidence. Okay, so having in the day pillar national treasure, I really like it. Okay, it's more of in a intangible growth, rather than a real, like something tangible like we can see it outside, because it's a year of deep personal value growth, especially if you do have like low self-confidence all this while, if you've always been searching for things, what you can do. This is a good year for it. Okay, so you can combine in terms of dragon virtue, ask people, or maybe do certain things and see, just use all the good stars, you will discover what you are good at. Okay, and very, very nice, I really like it in the day pillar. And this is also a type of new content here I'm sharing about, yeah, because previously I've never seen the effect of national treasure this way, but over the years, I've observed few things from other people, and personally experimenting it as well. Yeah, so very nice national treasure. So if you have it a day, very, very good. Very, very good. It's a year of deep personal growth. Okay, just be a bit more mindful whenever it comes to relationship, because remember, Emperor Star is the boss, and you do not want to be a bossy person in a relationship. All right. So just remember that. Now, um, how about in terms of the negative stars in the day pillar? Now, again, all these are tiny stuff. Of course, it does brings up a little bit of challenges, but I would say that don't be too worried about it. Okay, don't be too worried about it. Now, just to go through with you, I'm just going to combine a little bit of few things. Again, the day represents the self, the health, and also the spousal relationship or your spouse. Disaster Shah and brutal defeat. Now, impact is turbulent. All right, because again, it's at your day pillar, right? So disaster in what? The internal self. Okay, emotionally, especially when it's combined together with brutal defeat, ego related conflict. Okay, meaning to say, remember earlier on I said, oh, the positive stars actually help you to learn even more. But what is going to stop you if you can't? The pride and the ego. Okay, the pride and the ego. Okay, meaning to say, it's very resistant to learning, example. Or maybe you think you already know something, so it's like you, it's very defensive like right here, very defensive. Okay, so it's like, okay, I know already, then you don't want to learn anymore. Okay, so that is the ego talking. All right, so just be more mindful with that. Be a bit humble, open to learning experiences, even though it's something that you have already know it in the past. Okay, these things can actually stop you from growing, right? So we are also talking about emotional related issues, which is mood swings, maybe get a little bit irritable, impatient. And when you're impatient, irritable, you make silly decisions. Okay, so that is also when relationship will get into tension. Okay, so just be more aware of quick tempered responses, manage your temper, frustrations, and also don't think that you know everything. Okay, don't think you know everything. Okay, just, yeah, be open to learning. Now, sky sha and dark sha is health related problems. Okay, because it's also at the day. But these kind of health related problems, right, it's a lot to do with like emotional and mental stress. Little bit of minor health issue, all health problems, minor ones, but a lot of it is mainly triggered because of stress and low energy. Okay, so please keep your energy high. Okay, keep your energy higher. Do any form of work that will allow you to increase your energy. So warning signs are perhaps like feeling tired all the time, or maybe like whenever you're staying home too much, you get a little bit drained. Maybe some immunity related issues like cough, some cold or flu, small issues. These things can be a signs for it. Okay, again, how to make sure, okay, you have the positive stars. You don't have to be too worried about it. Now, um dragon virtue, again, you have nobleman. Okay, also, like I said, all you need to do is focus at increasing your energy level, and these things, even though they can come out very quickly. Okay, just come out very quickly. Now, how about the sixth harm? Okay, again, misunderstanding over small conflicts. Okay, because there's a harm with the horse and it's at the spouse palace. Okay, so misunderstandings over small conflicts, right? So these things, just be aware about it. Now, possibly it's also spouse giving you certain stress. Okay, it means it's not your stress, but you're worried, or your spouse is stressful and you get affected by it. Okay, so that will affect relationship issues. Okay, that will affect relationship issues. Okay, so just be aware about it. Okay, because again, if you have all the positive stars, you can actually overcome all these negative things. Because the good news is all these negative things, right, is something that is something that you are able to control. What is usually the things that we don't like? We don't like things that we cannot control, which is likely the things that are attacking us. But things mostly on the day and the hour, right, it's something that we internally can control, is actually like better, because these are something that we can control. Okay, so we can put all the resources into something that we can control, right? Right, so these things can manage it. Okay, these things can manage it. Okay, so focus at your health. Maybe I would say more on stress, and it's all the unnecessary things, the petty stuff. Okay, too anxious over small things. Okay, too anxious over small things. Okay, so these are the ox at the day pillar. Now let's look into the last pillar. All right, let's look into the last pillar, which is the hour. Now, the hour again goes deeper now, which is the mindset. Okay, your children, right? Your investments. Okay, so all the internal side. Now, having it in the ox, having it in the hour, it reflects to you, your mindset. So because the emperor star, it's about taking charge. So imagine you now want to take more control of the things you want. I see it's a good thing. Okay. Especially that if all this while you do not want to like take responsibility over certain things, or maybe you want something but you're too afraid of doing it. Now, I would say having the Emperor star would actually help you to move forward a little bit more, and you have the inner energy to like mm, to take charge of your own future, of your own ideas, taking responsibility of your own desires right now. I think it's great because a lot of times whenever we don't have the inner power, which is the emperor star, to take charge of what we desire, it can only be just a dream. So there's no action. But whenever the emperor star comes in here, I may expect, okay, that you will want to like take charge of whatever you're thinking right now. So you want to make something truly happen. So if you have this at the hour, right, most likely things that you have been desiring, things that you have thought about in the past, projects, hobbies, or whatever. Now it's a good time to actually take action to it. Put whatever that put out whatever that you have thought about in the past, put it out to action, because now you have the power to do it. Okay, you have the energy to do it, more like, okay, the motivation to actually make things happen. Now this can also be your projects, your little business, your little idea, your side gigs, or maybe your investments as well. Okay, your investments as well, right? So I think it's a pretty good thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and taking charge of your children, by the way, which sometimes can backfire. Okay, because now imagine you being the boss of your kids. Okay, okay, now I want you guys to actually see this, right? Even though the stars may seem positive, but if we apply it in the wrong way, it will backfire a little bit. So emperor star, putting it in your kids, I'm not too sure. Kids nowadays can be a bit too strict, right? So yeah, so if all this while you have a very challenging kid to handle, probably this will help. But if not, this can be a bit too rigid and will cause issues. Okay, so just be more aware on how you're using the emperor star. Now, the dragon virtue in the hour pillar is also very good because good deals will actually come by, especially when it comes to investments, are helpful people in terms of investments as well. So speak to people about it. Okay. Ask people, seek advice for it, and please, yeah, speak to them. You will somehow get the right information for the right reason. Okay, so don't worry about whether it's the right person or not, because dragon virtue is, it happens quite interestingly. Somehow the energy is on your side. So even though you are meeting the wrong person, right, but the wrong person will give you the right advice at the right time. That's how dragon virtue works. Okay, so the idea is, yeah, nobleman happens that way, right? So dragon virtue is very, very powerful. Okay, but sometimes dragon virtue, because the hour pillar, it also represents getting advice and support from your staff, your junior, your kids, your students as well. Okay, so these can help you to overcome a lot of problems. Now, national treasure at the hour pillar, very good as well. So this is very good in terms of like, because the hour represents your ideas, your creation, your products. So in here, if you have anything you want to create, this is your year. Okay, if you feel that your creation or your products, there is no value, or maybe people can't see the value, now is a good time to actually produce your product, let people see what you have, and put out there, and people will see the value. Okay, so it's really quite good, right? So yeah, whatever you have lah, basically your projects, whatever offerings you may have. Okay, your side gig. Yeah, the hour pillar also represents side gig. Yeah, by the way. Okay, side gig, not business, right? Okay, so it's a good time to actually create. so you can see value at this point in time. So if you always struggle to actually see the values that your product can bring, yeah, this is a good year to actually evaluate that. And don't second doubt yourself. Okay, don't second doubt yourself, because again, what's going to bring all the issues is all these negative stars. Just trust the year has a very good star for you and focus at what you get. And trust me, you probably see the outcome like later on as time passes by. Okay, don't overthink the situation. Now again, because the disaster Shah and brutal defeat, right? Even though you have good ideas, good things, right? Good investments, good projects, but if your ego or your pride comes into place, everything will not go well. Okay, so plans or projects will delay and will face issue due to resistance or ego or your pride. Okay, so you want to be aware of this. Now, again, when it comes to investments, these stars got to be a bit more careful. Okay, because impulsive decisions will happen, right? If your ego takes into position, because whenever brutal defeat comes in, sometimes you can be overly confident, okay, which is also your ego, and you don't want to make investment because of that, right? Please use your dragon virtue all the time. Okay, now sky Shah and dark Shah, because it's at the hour, so it represents your mind, your brain. So what does it mean? Energy depletion. Okay, probably feeling exhausted, probably things like creative blocks, mental fatigue, overthinking certain issue, being negative with your mindset, all these things, okay, because it's a bit low in terms of energy. Now, what about in terms of the sixth harm? Okay, sixth harm at the hour, again, literally means misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and this could happen probably with your children. Okay, get disappointed with them, and also perhaps your products, okay, your projects, your desires. So maybe there are certain things that didn't go as planned and you thought it could happen, and perhaps you get disappointed over certain outcomes. It's normal. And people such as like the hour pillar also represents your staff, your children, yeah, misunderstandings. Okay, so this is at the hour pillar, right? But if you do not have staff, do not have children, then it's okay lah. It doesn't apply to you. Okay, probably what's going to happen is just this, the mindset itself. Okay, but generally, again, I'm not too worried about it, because the positive stars are really, really, really good. That's why if I ever put it into a summary, which I did, okay, as you can see here, because of the Emperor Star and the Dragon Virtue and the National Treasure, you can see a lot of it is going to counter the negative stars. Okay, so don't need to be too worried about it. Okay, don't need to be too worried about it. That's why when it comes to career, I would say 90%. Okay, career wise, 90% is really good. All right, and the wealth, 75%. Okay, because the wealth is actually not the highest, but because of the powerful net worth, okay, that will help in terms of the wealth. Relationship wise is also not the best, but because dragon virtue is there and national treasure is very good in there. Probably emperor star is there, but it's not so, like, it's not like general star. Okay, general star, the relationship part is not going to be so nice, but still manage the ego. Health is also pretty decent, again, because you have the dragon virtue. Now, a lot of the issues for health, if you are worried about it, is mainly because of the negativity in the mindset. Okay, so as long as you work on that, a lot of things can be solved. It's not like the serious, like white tiger issues. Okay, it's not those kind of issues. So it's mainly just a little bit negativity here and there. Just make sure you stay positive. Make sure your energy level is high. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, just mix with the right crowd, basically, right? Just mix with the right crowd. Other than that, ox is pretty much well protected for the year. Okay, so if you have an ox in your parts chart, I would say please, please, please plan your year really well, because this is really where the year where you can actually take few steps ahead, right? Few steps ahead in whatever you are planning. Okay, so I really like the ox. Okay, again, I wouldn't want to like set like the ox is going to do extremely well and you guarantee it's going to succeed, because I've seen many cases whereby the stars are really supporting them, but they don't really know how to plan. Clients don't know how to plan well, and sometimes cannot blame, right? Because you perhaps don't have that clarity and you don't really know what to do, because this every situations are every situations are actually quite subjective, which totally understandable. So even though you know all these stars, good or bad, probably you need to learn how to plan better and understand your situation, then you'll be able to plan better. So sit yourself down, plan the year, find that time where you actually have clarity, and plan out your years. Okay, so you can actually look into all the animal signs that I'm going through. So now we are like, I think this is the seventh animal sign already. Okay, so there's about like 40% more to go. And you can follow through each and every animal signs. When it falls in the year, month, day, and hour, they got different opportunities and different strategy. I would say all you need to do is just know how to play these stars depending on the circumstances that you are at. Okay, but then again, not to worry. If you ever need help, we are here. Okay, we are always here. So we are actually open up now for a one-to-one session. Okay, so this year we have opened up few of our uh different types, actually, because this year is a bit more unique. So we have a one-to-one parts 2026 consult. So that is online session. All these are online session, unless you request a physical one-to-one session, which is going to be more pricey. You're going to be at the studio, and you can see us face to face, and we will do the consult there and then. But if you do need like a proper planning and customized according to your parts chart, your situation, um, then you can book us one to one. Okay, because we will give you like a more specific action. What can you do according to your situation? So 八字 chart consult, many people think it's like a forecasting or fortune telling, but no, it's not. In fact, it's a good tool to actually plan your year, because what you're going to do is focus on what you want to achieve, understand the year itself, understand your circumstances, and then plan your actions. Now, the planning part, it's not just about understanding the whole opportunity, right? But with us, the planning comes also with specific timing. Yeah, because I think this is where the consult comes into place quite well, is that you understand when is the right time to actually make certain action, because of course everyone has different timing to be supported to certain actions. Okay, so there's a one-to-one session now. I also use Chiman, by the way, if you're wondering, because certain situations we also use Chiman, but primarily I'm using 八字 chart as the base. And also we use Chiman destiny chart to help you plan the year as well. Okay. Now on top of that, we also have a 12 cards tarot roadmap. This one is coming from not me, from Cindy. So she's actually doing the 12 card annual spread with 2026 overall theme, and bi-monthly she will set up a theme for you as in a lesson perspective. Okay, means what are the things that you can be aware of or should be aware of. Okay, so follow us. I think she will be sharing more about this tarot system and how she can actually help you guys solve certain issues. But we are also open up to this session. Okay. Yeah, this is also an online session unless you request a physical session. On top of that, this year I'm also launching an online version of Feng Shui 2026. Now, this one is an online version and it requires you to give me your floor plan. Okay, right? So I'm not going to do the full analysis, and this package usually I don't really sell this package. Okay, usually I'm only doing the physical sessions, but this one it's only doing for 2026 annual session. Okay, so we'll provide activation and mitigation dates, but this one doesn't include any site visits at all. Okay, so we also come in package if you like it. So any form of package you can also combine, and then we'll give you the full package for it. Okay, check out our link. We actually have the full package on what kind of combination you like. Everything is provided. So we are trying to cover from head to toe, how to help you to solve all the issues using several different systems. So even if like now you have understand our life, you have attended our sessions, but still do not know what to do by yourself, because understandably your situation may be quite unique and you want something more specific, book us for a one-to-one session. Okay. Now, on top of that, there is also our 2026 Chinese astrology webinar where I will be teaching you guys about 2026 using multiple systems. There will be 八字, Feng Shui, Qi and I Ching. So this 2026 session, because it's extremely important and unique year, okay, this session is going to be a 2-day session and it's only 150 ringgit until the end of the month. Okay, so if you are interested to join us, okay, please do join us. It's going to be the 10th and 11th of January, 1 to 4 p.m. each day, 2 days this time. Okay, usually we only do 1 day, but 2026 is an extremely huge year. That's why we decided to do 2 days, because it's not enough. So the day one, we'll be talking about the fire awaken. The topic is about that. So we're going to understand all about 2026, and then on the 11th of January, we're going to talk about how the rebirth begins. Okay, so this is talking about how to align yourself with all the external chaos. It's going to be quite interesting. So if you join this, there'll be also a dedicated Telegram channel for it, which, by the way, will be also shaping how the content is going to be like. So I'm trying out something a bit different this year. I'm also trying to like change the content a little bit. So if you are already in this session, you already purchased my session, please make sure that you are part of the Telegram group and check out the Telegram group, because I need your feedback and responses in order for me to prioritize what kind of content you would like me to focus more. Because I know some people want more about investment, some people want more about career, some people want more about this and that. So depending on the votes, I will be talking more of that. Okay, because 2026 is I don't have all the time to actually talk about it, but there's so much to talk about. So I only want to prioritize on things that really matters for the audiences, as in the collective audience. Okay, so if you are interested, you can actually join me. Now these things has replay. Understandably, if you cannot join this like full, you can also watch the replay, and the replay is unlimited, so you can actually watch them like 10 years from now, you can still watch them. Okay, so it's an unlimited replay. Now, so early bird is going to end until end of the month, right? And feel free to join us. Okay, now I think that's it. Oh my god, I talk so much. All right, so with that, guys, I'm glad that you're still staying on with me. You can actually check us out on our Facebook. The link is all there, or if not, our Telegram is also there. Otherwise, you can also check out your emails, because I think emails has been going out on talking about all these events. Okay, but again, guys, most importantly, I think we are also very close to the year end already, and I hope that all of you guys are now working on the plans. I wouldn't expect everybody else to like already completely worked out on the plans, but I hope that you are already working on some plans. Okay, otherwise you can always engage us to actually work out plans together. Like for us, right, we will take about a few weeks to actually work out our plans. And yes, it's a personal plan. Okay, personal plan. All right. So even in terms of what we are offering next year, it's also going to hopefully we can make it according to plan, right? And I hope that it will actually be very relevant to what you guys really want to overcome. Okay, we really really hope that that's also one of my plans. And yeah, okay. So if you're a business owner, okay, I think this is also extremely important, right? Because I think this is very important for business owner actually, because the market dynamic is going to change, and understanding the insights of 2026 is extremely important. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And it's the peak of period 9. Okay. It's the peak of period 9. So in a way, none of us have actually experienced it before, I would say. Never before. Okay. Never before. But I think the idea it's not about getting it right, but the idea it's about being aware about it, being conscious about it. And once we are conscious about it and know the system to actually navigate the situation, and we are flexible with it, along the way we can always pivot. And this is something that we're going to learn in the 2026 webinar. Yeah. And because we cannot be too obsessed about being right all the time, right? And I can say this is also the first time all Chinese metaphysicians are going through this. Okay, so we cannot be focusing too much on being right, but idea is to focus whether you have the capacity to navigate through the situations in 2026. Okay, right? So yeah, I think that's it for today. Coming back to the ox, wrapping it up. Great year for the ox, right? Absolutely great year for the ox. So let me put up the ox thing. And then the summary, where's the summary page? Ta-da! Okay. Now, again, if you guys like the content that I'm sharing, if you guys like the style that I'm doing, because clearly my style is really probably not like the typical fortune telling style, because I don't like to call myself fortune teller because I'm not a fortune teller. I can't I can't even predict. Well, prediction literally is about just understanding human behaviors. But generally, if you do like my style here, it's really more about empowering yourself to create your own life, your own path by understanding the universal force. Okay, it's really, really empowering, because personally, I too don't believe in just um, allowing the things in life to just pull me around. The whole idea why we are here is to learn to be better, to understand the universal force, to learn our lessons, to become better each day. So this is my style, and this is how we use Chinese metaphysics here in terms of 八字、奇门、风水、易经. So this is the Chinese metaphysics philosophy. Okay, the 5 element mastery, the 5 element philosophy. Okay, so this is the technique and the method that we use that is very, very different, I think, to many people out there. So if you do like my method, still using a lot of traditional wisdom philosophy, yet in a modern application, do follow us. Okay, follow us and like us on our page, right? If you're watching this as a replay, and if you do like us, please do engage with our page, because only then you'll be able to receive our notification. If you don't engage with our page, if you don't like follow us on our Telegram, you won't be able to get like notifications on whether what we are coming up with new contents and stuff. Okay, and I'll be coming out a lot more into live, because 2025 I really stopped a lot of my live session, a lot of my speaking engagement, because I'm doing a lot of recalibration. But 2026 we are coming back a lot with live engagements, because yeah, even online live or physical person live, okay, you can see our physical events if you want. If you're in KL, you can see our physical events, and feel free to drop by to meet us in KL as a person as well, because we'll be doing few events. Okay, so feel free to drop by and meet us in person. But yeah, if you do like our style, do you like our page, share, because I believe that ancient knowledge like this is really meant to empower us, teach us to become better. It's not to really tell us what's going to happen tomorrow. It gives us a brief idea, but the idea is to not be too afraid about it. Okay, it's to understand the bigger picture, right? And if you like our method, it's going to be very different. Do like us, follow us, share the video. Okay, don't forget, engage with us. Means click on like the post, share, comment. That's engagement. Okay, so yeah, that's how you actually connect with us. Okay, let me see. I don't think. Oops. Oopsie. Yeah. So I think that's all. Now, yeah, I think that's all for today. Okay. All right, guys. With that, I wish you guys happy Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because yeah, I think next week when I'm coming back, it's already 2026. So I would say like see you guys next year lah. So I'm coming back again next week, yeah. So next week is January already. Oh, ding ding ding. Yeah. Next week is already January. So yeah. Okay. I'll see you guys in January. All right. Have a great Christmas holiday. If you're celebrating, if you're taking a break, have a good break as well. Even us, we are actually taking a break right now. Okay, we're actually taking a break. Already started our holiday actually, but I'm still doing online work. Okay, with that, bye guys. I hope you have fun. Bye. See you. Thank you very much for staying in. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking at all the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. See you.